Hi, my YouTube people. Welcome to another episode of Lamarr Does Life with me, Lamarr Townsend. And as you can see, the title right here says Why I Hate April Fool's Day. Now, April Fool's Day is a very interesting day because you wake up thinking, you always wake up, well, for me, you always wake up thinking it's a normal day. You don't even think about the fact that it's an April Fool's Day until someone does an April Fool's prank and you're like, crap, I forgot it was April Fool's, right? Well, there was a moment or an event that happened to me on a very fateful April Fool's Day. Now it would be 12 years ago that I have never forgotten. And it has completely tainted April Fool's Day for me. Now, this is kind of a little bit of a sad story time, so I figured one way to not make it so sad is to have some food that we can eat also, or that I can eat to also kind of like distract me, so I have some. Do you hear that? My tea kettle's going off, so I'm boiling some water in my tea kettle so that I can make some ramen noodles. So I'm gonna go and get my tea kettle off the stove and go get my bowl of ramen, and we're gonna do this story time. So give me a quick second to go get my tea kettle off the stove. Can you hear it? Alright, so I've got my tea kettle here. I've got my ramen. I'm gonna take the bowl, since the tea kettle is obviously very hot. Got my bowl of ramen here. And I'm just gonna place the tea kettle on this porcelain cup and let it cool down a bit. While I sit and chat with you all. I thought it would fit, but it doesn't fit perfectly. Oh well. So actually, let me go ahead and just pour some water in here so we can get it started. Ooh. How do you guys make your ramen? For those who eat ramen, do you put it in the microwave? When I was younger, I would put my ramen. Of course, you guys know I did a video on this channel. Of course, I like to eat my ramen. For my ramen eaters, my window's open. For my ramen eaters, you guys know I love to eat my ramen with my chopsticks. So I've got my wooden chopsticks. I did a video on eating with chopsticks and the difference between eating with eating with wooden chopsticks versus metal chopsticks. So definitely go check that video out on my YouTube channel, Lamarr Does Life. But yes, April Fool's Day has been kind of tainted for me because I had a very, I guess you could say, tragic. It kind of is. It pretty tragic. A pretty tragic event. Now, in hindsight, 2020. Time. I won't say time heals things, but time definitely does give you perspective, right? And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from this situation is perspective down the line. Now, before I get into the story time, I wish this... Oh my god, I wish this would stop doing that. But whatever. Before I get into the story time, I want to let you know that I am available for personal readings on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. This is my second YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, by the way, I do have a main channel called Lamarr Townsend Tarot, where I talk about astrology, zodiac signs, celebrities. I do tarot readings. I do and psychic readings and all different types of spiritual stuff. So I definitely want to go check that out. On this channel, this is more like my personal things, my personal life, vlogging. We just have fun over here. So I really want this ramen to get like. Oh, by the way, okay, so I was asking you all, how do you like your ramen to be made? Unfortunately, this is a porcelain bowl, and the water is really hot, so, it is going to be kind of hot to hold up, but do you like making your ramen on the stove? Do you like making your ramen in the microwave? When I was younger, I would just, make it in the microwave. As I got older, I started making it on the stove. Now that I'm even more older, I guess I'm 30 isn't really that old. I'm 30. I really like making ramen with my tea kettle because really all you need is some hot water, and then they give you the little packets of seasoning typically. So it's like I don't know. I just love making ramen with my tea kettle. Speaking of such, let me put my seasoning in my ramen so we can get to chowing down while the noodles do their thing. So I'm gonna just mix it up really quickly as best as I can. The noodles are still kind of hard, so there you go. Anyways, so I will take you back to the day that this situation happened. Now, I don't know how you are about April Fools. I am someone that loves to laugh. Sorry, I told you this food would distract me. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day yet. Let me try and focus. My mouth is watering. So, I was saying, how I don't know about how you celebrate April Fools or if April Fools is your thing. I am someone, as you know, that I love to laugh. I love to joke. I love to have fun. And this day was no different from that. I don't remember exactly what day it was. It must have been a weekend. I definitely remember that I was still in high school. And I grew up in Virginia. And, it's a small town in Virginia called Leesburg. And, it's full of, wealthy kids, middle class kids, and everything in between. And this day on April Fool's 2010, I think me and my friends and my cousin, who was like my best friend, we all decided to go to the mall that day. So we went to the mall, which was about maybe 30, 45 minutes away, if that. And we're young, so it's exciting because now we're at the age where we can drive. And I don't think I was at the age where I could drive without my mom there. But my friend was driving. My friend Ashley was driving. And it was just us, it was just me and, my friends, we were going to the mall. And I will never forget, I even remember the store I was in when this phone call came through. We're at the mall, we're having fun, just being normal teenagers. I think at this time, if it was 2010, that would have been 10, 12 years ago. So I would have been 18, 17, 18 at this time. Yeah, I would have been 17, 18 at this time. In 2010, April 1st of 2010. It's 2010. We're at the mall, we're shopping. I remember exactly what I was wearing that day. I was wearing a gray, I think, polo, maybe from Ralph Lauren. I was wearing khaki shorts and sandals. And we're in Nordstrom Rack. Or no, we're not in Nordstrom Rack. We're in Nordstrom's. And I get a phone call from my uncle. And I'm just looking around, looking at the clothes, not thinking of anything. I'm just on the phone like, hey, what's up? What's good? Like, what are you doing? And I could tell from the way that my uncle's voice sounded and the way he was talking, it sounded like the way he was talking was very cryptic. And it was one of those things where he calls, and usually my uncle is around my age. Well, he's 5, 6, 7 years older than me. So really, I grew up with him more so being like an older brother than an actual uncle. But he does like to let us know, us as his nieces and nephews, that he's the uncle. Period. So my uncle called me that day, and it was just weird. Like, how sometimes you feel even at 17, I could tell that the energy was off. And I wasn't even a tarot reader, at that age. I mean, I was doing readings and into psychic stuff and reading books by Sylvia Brown. But when you know the energy's off and something's wrong, you just know. So my uncle calls. I'm on the phone with him. I'm looking at clothes at Nordstrom Rack, just looking through stuff, literally not thinking of anything. And then he's kind of just going on and on. I love you, right? You're the old. This is him talking to me. I love you, right? You're the oldest of all. You're my nieces and nephews, right? You're about to graduate. It's a big deal. Life is getting crazy right now. And I'm just like, he doesn't usually talk like this. So there's a moment where I kind of stopped looking at the clothes I'm looking at, and I could just it was in that moment I sensed something was wrong. So I'm like, wait, what's wrong? What's going on? Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell something was off. And I will never forget these words that he told me. He said, and mind you, I had no prior explanation, no prior worries or fears, no prior like reason to even think this would ever happen. Remember that day? I'm out with my friends. I'm having fun. We're at the mall. We're laughing. So I asked my uncle, "What's wrong? You sound weird. What's going on?" He says, They just told me your dad died on April Fool's Day. I find out at the mall with my friends that my dad has died. I have to eat now. I have to take a sip of my noodles and just let that sink in. Because, I mean, you have to think and it's on April Fool's Day, so it's like part of you is like, is this a joke? Like this, I don't. My uncle wouldn't joke like this, but like, I remember thinking throughout that day, like, there's something about this that has to be a joke. Like, it's April Fool's Day. Why would he pass away on April Fool's Day? It was so weird, but anyways, I'll take you through everything that happened. Let me just, eat some of my noodles. I like to chew with my mouth closed. I was taught to never chew with your mouth open. It's very disrespectful. So, but those noodles are good. So, I always look back. Oh my god, I hope I don't have food in my mouth. I always look back at that time as if, like, before that phone call, life was one way. And after that phone call, life became completely different. Actually, a couple days ago, and I don't want to cry because I don't want this to be that kind of video. A couple days ago, I was thinking, I wonder who I would have become, the type of person I would have been, had that not happened. How had I not gotten that phone call? Had my dad never died? Like it just all like it's like kind of like I always think of it like in the sense of before Christ and after death, after Christ, like BC and AD, right? So, of course, as soon as he tells me that, like, I stop immediately what I'm doing and my jaw falls to the floor. So, I don't remember exactly what happened, what the conversation went after that, but I was in disbelief. I think I asked him what happened, how, what are you talking about? He didn't really give me full clarity. I think he had just recently gotten the news himself, so he was probably still processing it himself. But I think he told me, get home and get to your auntie's house. So now I have to go over to my friends. And mind you, we later found out that apparently he died from a heart attack. I still don't have a full understanding of what happened. I feel like I still don't have the full story. But anyways, it was like a natural cause kind of death. So we got no forewarning. He wasn't sick before. It was just, randomly one day I woke up and my dad was dead. So weird. Mind you, he also died in jail. So my dad was in jail for a large part of my life. I don't remember exactly what he did, but I think that also, like, affected me. The fact that he died in jail and, like, of course I got to see him and talk to him. I maybe talked to him a few days prior to his passing. And I'll never forget the last present he gave me for my birthday was the Brandy CD Human. Which I was thinking about that the other day and I was like, I wish I still had that CD. But anyways, so I had to go to my friends and let them know that, hey, you guys, my dad died and I need to get home. Imagine as a 17-year-old how awkward and weird that is to tell your friends who are like having fun and laughing that your dad's died out of nowhere. Like the worst April Fool's joke by the universe. It's not even joke because it's real life, but the worst April Fool's by the universe and spirit ever. Like it's crazy. So let me just take some more of my noodles and I'll finish the story. The noodles bring me back to my happy place. I try to be a really like nice eater. At least when I'm on camera, I try to eat nicely and properly. But child, when you hungry, okay? And my dad liked to eat, okay? Anyway, in his honor. All right. So I go over to my friends and let them know that my dad's died of all days on April Fool's Day. Now I'm kind of wondering now, looking back, I wonder if they thought that I was joking with them, like because it was April Fool's Day. Anyway, the ride back home to my house was so awkward. My friends had no idea what to say. And later on down the line, I would talk to my cousin, and my cousin would say, even like, when we dropped you off, like, it was still awkward. Like, we didn't know what to say. No amount of "I'm so sorry," "Oh my God," if you need anything, let me know, helps. It's like it was nice to know, that my friends were there for me. They did text me after they dropped me off and stuff like that, and let me know that "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me know if you need anything. I'm here for you." But when a parent passes away and a parent passes away unexpectedly, it's like it's kind of traumatizing, especially when you're young. So I get home. And at this time, I get home to my mom's house. I'm living with my mom at the time. And I just remember being numb. I was still in disbelief, of course. The emotions hadn't hit me yet. But I remember, like, getting home to my mom's house. Apparently, my mom had talked to my aunt. My aunt was my brother, my dad's sister. So as soon as I got home, I was kind of carted off. My mom drove me to my aunt's house to be with my dad's side of the family. I remember at the time, my stepdad was my mom's husband, was living with us at the time, and there was a beer in the fridge. And of course, I'm packing a suitcase because I'm probably going to be there, at my aunt's house for a while as all these things get, figured out and sorted out. I remember stealing a beer from the fridge because I was like, something told me I'm gonna need this beer because there's a lot going on right now. So I'm 17, 18, not allowed to drink. I remember stealing the beer and putting it in my suitcase. I get over to my aunt's house, and that's where things really start to hit me because everyone at my aunt's house was a mess. My grandmother, my dad's mother, was a complete like wreck. I've never seen her cry that much. My aunt was crying. Like, it was just like very somber, sad, depressing. And later that night, the emotions really hit me, and I locked myself in the bathroom with that bottle of alcohol that I had stolen from the fridge at my mother's house, and I think I just drank the bottle. I cried on the floor, the bathroom floor. I drank the bottle. Of course, my uncle knocked on the door and found me and gave me a big hug and let me know everything was gonna be okay. But I'm telling you all, and things have gotten better when it comes to me being able to deal with, I guess you could say, the trauma of losing my dad in such a traumatic way, but just the loss of and the death of a parent in general. I think, and me and my dad weren't always like, hunky dory, but he was my dad nonetheless, right? So it's like the loss of a parent hurts, and but I will say that I've been better able to manage that hurt over time as time has gone on. It's been 12 years, but I promise you, every freaking April Fool's Day, April 1st, I'm like, I'm really not in a joking mood. Like, this is just not a joking. April Fool's Day after that has never really been a joking thing for me. Like, it's interesting. It's like the one, as humorous as a person as I am, even in this video, like, I'm trying to, like, project humor. As humorous as a person as I am, April Fool's Day, just like, that me losing my dad on April Fool's Day of all days, has just completely taken the humor out of April Fool's Day. You know? But, sorry. I'd like to think at the same time that there is a meaning to my dad passing away on April Fool's Day of all days. And maybe, once again, in hindsight is 2020. Maybe there's something about, like, because my dad was also someone that was really funny and humorous. He kind of reminded me a lot of Martin from the Martin Show, or Martin the TV show. Like, he would have been Martin, and it's kind of like, to me, I guess, looking back at it 12 years later, it's like, I guess, even in very sad, depressing moments, you kind of have to, like, as best as you can, because I'm telling you, when that happened, I could find no humor. There was nothing to laugh at all. But in hindsight, I guess I could always look at it and, even though my dad has passed away, on April Fools, there's always that kind of lightheartedness where it's like, someone could prank me, or, I could see someone prank someone else and be able to laugh, and like say, oh, like, okay, like, even though this terrible thing happened to me on April Fool's Day, that's not necessarily how everyone else sees this day. And I don't want to be the person that is a downer to everyone else, on a day where it should be kind of fun and laughs, and lightheartedness, and not taking things so seriously, and being able to prank people and pull jokes and stuff like that. So, and that's the type of person my dad was. So I like to kind of remember him in that way. But, to be honest, had he passed away on any other day, it wouldn't have made a difference. When someone passes, they pass. And you can't get them back. But, there's something kind of ironic in, I guess you could say, I don't want to say sarcastic, but there's something ironic in, intriguing that he passed away on April Fool's Day of all days. One of my fondest memories I have of my dad was living with my mom once again, because my mom and dad were never really married. I remember one day I was a kid, and I guess I was having a nightmare, and I remember tossing and turning, and I don't know if I was having a bad dream or something, but I tossed and turned. I turned my head this way and I opened my eyes, and I looked up, and my dad was sitting on my bed shaking me, looking at me like I was crazy. Like, are you okay? Are you having a bad dream or something like that? And I've never forgotten that. So that's like a fond memory I take with me. It's crazy certain things you remember when you're young. You know, certain memories, there's certain things you don't remember, but then there's other stuff that you do remember that you just kind of take with you, you know. So I don't know, I kind of want to end on a happy note. I don't want to end on a sad note, but this is why I kind of hate April Fool's Day. It's not like the worst day of the year for me, but it's a day where it's just a little bittersweet. You know, it's like you want to laugh, but you kind of want to cry too at the same time. So this is my story time about April Fool's Day. Why April Fool's Day is not necessarily my most favorite day of the year, but I hope that you have gotten a laugh at least out of today. I know I did. I've gotten fooled a few times, you know, scrolling through social media and stuff like that. So I can only imagine what else the day has in store for me, you know. So, but anyways, thank you all for listening and watching. Thank you for listening to my story time. This is actually very therapeutic. I can imagine even 4 years ago I would have been able to tell this story without choking up or something like that. So if you've ever lost someone in your life, you know that time doesn't necessarily heal all wounds all the time, but it does help you to better manage the scars left behind. Alright? Alright, you guys, with that, I will leave you. And thank you for listening and watching. I'm going to finish the rest of my noodles. I don't have much left. But thank you all for joining me on this mukbang storytime video. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in your own personal reading. Either way, I'll see you soon. And happy April Fool's Day. Love and light.